Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing, my Nigel?
I'm very well. I'm very well. I didn't catch your name. What was your name?
Rickson.
Rickson. How you doing, Rickson? Where are you calling from? Because it looks quite dark there.
Yeah. It's about 4 a.m. here in Australia, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for taking the time out to actually come on to this interview. I super appreciate it. It's super early in the morning. Do you normally work to this time, or are you normally asleep at this time?
Nah, so recently I've been waking up at around 3 a.m., and the goal is to get the good amount of sleep. So I've been going to bed about 7,
Yeah.
8 to get the 7 and 8 hours of sleep. Because usually I guess the first reason was because I was kind of shifting towards US people, going more towards working with people in the US, so cold calling them, calling them at the right time, which is about this time, or it would be like 11 p.m. So I thought starting at around 3 a.m. was probably best for me. And to
Yeah.
be honest, it does feel pretty good, when you start your day and everybody else is asleep and you're up and
Yeah.
ready and
You're up already.
you've had
Exactly.
breakfast,
Yeah, yeah. You're a head
so
start. You're ahead of the game. You're in the game. You're ahead of the game.
yeah,
So cool, good stuff. So tell me a little
100%.
bit more. Tell me a little bit more about yourself, Rickson.
So
So
I run a
how old
marketing
you are,
agency.
how old you
Yeah,
are, where you started, with the real world, etc.
100%. So I'm 15.
Mm,
I joined the real world it was about mid last year. I think it was April or the month before that. And I was 14 then. And the first campus that I joined was the Business Mastery campus. And from there, that's the main campus that I really stuck with. I started Business in a Box, which is, starting marketing agency. And Business in a Box is pretty evolved from there. So it started from like meta ads and Google ads, and now it's shifting more towards local SEO, ranking businesses higher on Google. So I'm mainly doing that with stuff in the real world. So I run my own marketing agency and it's going really well in terms of Arno going through the process of how to run ads. He's even doing himself for his own business, showing like, okay, this is we know that stuff works here because I've done it for my own business, which is what Arno shows. So that's essentially where we're at right now.
awesome. Being 15 years, well, you started at 14. Being 15 years old and having your own marketing business, that's absolutely amazing. That's super amazing. Super proud of you, bro. Super, super proud of you. What made you do
Thank you.
that? What made you join the real world and like think I'm going to take that next step, or I'm going to take a different avenue from obviously school? You still in school?
So I'm actually homeschooled, and yeah, so I'm actually homeschooled, and a lot of it is evolved around business, 100%. Because I think talking with people, talking with clients is 100% a really good way to get your sales skills up. And I look at a lot of 15, 16, 17-year-old now, and it is, I'd say it is pretty sad the way they act with like brain rot and with everything else. But the step for me going towards the real world is, I remember even before I joined, my dad was ranting on about it. Like, you should join the real world,
Oh,
so you can
awesome.
entertain.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. Like that.
No, I'm like, yeah, dad. So I was kind of like dismissing him. Like when I was probably still 14 at this time. So my dad was like suggesting this to me and I think another one of my friends or something. And then eventually I got to the point because I remember being homeschooled and then I ended up being addicted to video games. And like that was the first thing on my mind and all the rest. And then I remember it just got to the point where it wasn't a place where I wanted to be, because it's like scrolling social media or just playing video games. You think you want it, but you don't because it's just this empty void. It's this empty void that you're trying to fill, but it never gets filled. So I remember I don't remember the exact story, but I ended up pulling the pin, I ended up paying for it, and from there it was just it's it was more than I truly expected it to be, which I'm very grateful for and I'm very blessed for.
You realizing that at such a young age is super amazing. And I think the benefit of that is you being homeschooled as well. So,
For
what
sure.
made your parents decide to homeschool you? And your dad gave you the inspiration to join the real world. and you were a little bit kind of apprehensive at first on how to do it. So what made you make that little flip over and think, okay, cool, right now I'm going to do it? Like, what gave you that? Was it just constant pressure from dad, like you got to do it, or was it just like, okay, a realization? I know you said a little bit but about uh like that empty void, and you needed to fill that empty void. Was that the main solution of it, or was there anything more?
So in terms, I remember I ended up having probably, because me just like chasing video games. I remember my mom and my dad ended up sitting me down one day and just being like, "You can't keep doing this," So it was gotten to the point of disappointment, and I knew I could feel it from my dad's side that the relationship that we had wasn't where it could be, and it is definitely not what it is now because of the real world. So you can feel that when you wake up every day and the first thing on your mind is video games, and your dad is, doesn't talk to you as much as he should, you know. And I don't really blame him. That's not me blaming him. That's my fault because I chose video games and all the rest over him. So I
Mm,
think it's that flip of, this shouldn't be happening. I can't keep doing this. It's just, and I don't even think it's like a I don't even think this is abnormal for a 15-year-old. So it is, if like there may be other 15-year-olds, 16, 17-year-olds like this, and I think there's a lot. And it's not very good. So I think the flip of having that was probably the thing that got me. So
mm,
I think my dad gave up after a bit of me just dismissing him with the real world, and then I remember it just like popping into my head one time. And I'm like, yeah, this I need to do, because I remember now me suggesting the real world to people. I don't push them as much, but I'm like, look, if you give it 30 days, give it a month, see how you go. If you don't like it, then you can stop. Because for me, it shifted a lot of things for me. And the reason that I was going homeschool, going back to kind of the first question, is the first reason was mainly due to a lot of stress. I remember being homeschooled, and it was a lot of like being in school and all the assessments and all the people, and the people there I really did not want to hang around.
yeah,
Even even with what I knew then compared to now, I
yeah.
knew that those weren't the people that I wanted to hang around. With the way they talk, with the way they act, with all the rest, they're not I wouldn't want to hang around them now because they don't have the mindset that I have. And w- so those are the two main reasons, probably due to a lot of it was hyper stressful. I can't remember the exact situation, but it was very stressful. And then the people were very toxic in a way, and not really people I wanted to be around.
I think also that I think your dad saw like a crazy potential in you, hence why he wanted to kind of push you just that little bit more forward. Like he wanted you to be different from the rest, now proven. Which is now
For
proven.
sure.
Kudos to your dad. Hello to your dad. Like, hello, dad. Well done, dad. So okay, cool. So tell me about your journey. So you joined, and then where did that progression lead to up until this point?
Yep. So I joined the real world. I joined the business campus for probably the first maybe 4 months. I say 4 months. Uh, I'm not exact. Probably the first couple months. I end up still playing video games because I ended up pulling the pin on the real world, but I still end up playing video games. But I was still, I was more watching the lessons. And then maybe it was probably a month in, I end up starting business in a box with you setting up the website, the domain, you know, doing emails, all the rest that Arno did suggest. And then I remember it was the first PM challenge, so positivity masculinity challenge that Ace put in. The first one that came up, I'm not exactly sure how many months into me joining the real world it was, but it had like this list. And I'm like, oh yeah, this should be easy. So it was like no video games, no sugar, I can't remember the exact list. All the rest to keep you in there, to make sure that
You're fully
you be
focused. Yeah.
sharp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So I remember doing that, and that from there, I quit video games, and from there, I probably haven't played video games since. Maybe I've probably fallen off the wagon a couple times, but from the last maybe 6 months, maybe more, I haven't exactly kept track of it, but I haven't been playing video games because I know it's a waste of time, and it's like, man, it's just scrolling. Sometimes I'll watch something on a reel that I look at, but my goal, I don't end up scrolling. And even then, just looking at it, it just makes me empty. So it's going to be the same with video games. You know what I mean? So it's not very fulfilling, and it's actually more. It's I feel like it's more in the loop of putting more stress on your plate because you know what you're doing is wrong and what you're
Yeah.
doing isn't
Yeah.
right.
You understand.
And
You
then
understand. Yeah. You understand what it does. Yeah.
for sure, for sure. And then from there, a couple months in, I'm trying to, you know, run more emails to try and get more clients coming in. I remember I got a good lead for marketing agency. He was a photographer. And because meta ads was such a high ticket thing, and I knew that for the time that I was putting in, it was probably going to cost a lot. And I like putting a lot of money into ads is the right thing to get the ROI for people. Then they, it's it is a hard thing to say yes to when somebody just cold emails you out of the blue asking for a lot of money, So I actually didn't get my first proper client until it's probably 3, 4 months ago. Yeah, 3, 4 months ago when it came to Arno bringing in the SEO for local businesses. Now, I think before that, I did close somebody for, this was my first client for ads, but what I was getting in return was peanuts. But I do agree that for that, I was, I was getting in an awesome experience. I was learning and all the rest. So essentially, that's my journey from joining the real world to where I am kind of now. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, do you think that that's actually changed the relationship since you've kind of put your head down and really started focusing on that and kind of moved everything else to the side? Has like your own personal relationship with your father and your family just got better?
100%, definitely, because it's now we can like it just shows the real world changes the way you think about things. One thing that I do remember of an Andrew Tate lesson is when you're surrounded by the right people and you walk into a coffee shop, all you're going to be talking about is, okay, how does this coffee shop make money? How much profit do you think they make? How much revenue do you think they make? How much do you make they do they pay in wages and all the rest? When you're surrounded with the right people, you're so locked in on business. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think just changing the way I think, like the real world preaching about walking like not like you own the place, but with confidence, like your back straight,
Yeah.
your
Well,
chest
yeah.
out, you know?
Walking talk. Walking talk. I get that.
Yeah, that's right. So
You're a 15-year-old
it's
genius. I like you.
thank you,
Go on, carry on.
Nigel.
Sorry.
Really appreciate it. So my dad saw the shift and he's like, okay, I can see that you're putting your head down. I can see that you're really trying. And then it like these last couple of months, right now we're a bit scraping by in money and the business has definitely been really helping with that because now I'm able to help pay with groceries, with the mechanic, with even with rent, like eggs and all the rest. And I really don't mind because I mean, I've got a roof over my head. So I don't need to worry about rent. I don't need to worry about bills. I don't need to worry about what's on my table because I know my parents provide for that. So I really don't mind helping. And I'm really grateful to help with that. So the
Mm,
relationship with my dad has definitely formed, even, I'd say it was probably maybe a month. I'd say even like 2 months into the real world, my dad really saw a noticeable change and we started actually connecting
yeah.
because from then my video games died down because I was focusing on business.
Mm,
So 100% it's changed with my family, with the way I talk and all the rest. Yeah.
yeah. So when did you start actually earning? Like, how much did you earn when you first started earning, and what are you currently earning on a month to month basis now?
So at the start, I was charging pennies. I think I remember my first client and I ended up charging them like it was I ended up getting 200 Australian dollars. And then at the end, I ended up just refunding them because of some offer at the end of it. So, but anyways, I got a good learning experience. I think I started on the lower end. I remember Arno suggesting on like pricing. It makes sense that if you're kind of new to it and you don't exactly know pricing, just start on the lower end. So I ended up starting on the lower end, which is about 500 Australian dollars, which isn't much in US dollars. I think that's like 300 or something. And then it was more of a setup thing. So for local SEO, on there, I was doing, so pay me X and then I'll get you to, let's say, top 10, top three. And then from there, you sell them management. Right now, what I'm doing is it's to get people there and to keep them there on a quarterly or monthly basis. So I haven't been able to make a like consistent amount from every client to have a thing of saying like I'm making $1,000 a month. Right now, I do have a client that I'm managing his website for a monthly basis. So my pricing has been, how much I've made each month has been all over the place. But I think the last 30 days I've made about 1400. Yeah, about 1400. And then the last 60 days I've made about 1800. So yeah, maybe just under $2,000.
Well, that's still good. And like you say, I think the benefit of that is being able to. Oh, he's disappeared. No,
Sorry, I was just getting
no,
some
no,
water.
you need some water. I was going to ask you if you wanted some water as well. So, like, even that's good because, like what you said, you're able to help the family, which is good. So,
For
because
sure.
a roof over your head, etc., etc., etc. So you're able to help your family. I mean, did you treat yourself to something small, maybe something? Well, I'm not going to say another computer
I
game, but did you treat yourself to something?
So the funny thing with me is I remember like I've watching a bit of Mr. Beast and how he kind of works in the background. And what's so fascinating about him is that he invests all of what he has into his own YouTube channel to get, he doesn't really care about the fancy stuff. It's funny because I remember one of the stories that Mr. Beast has is he his mother was worried that he just kept spending money here. So his mother took $100,000 and kept it somewhere safe. Mr. Beast ends up finding out $100,000, and his first reaction was, "Oh, nice, another $100,000 to put more into videos," you know. And then his mom was kind of even more worried. With me, I'm not really a materialistic person, so usually I'll just reinvest it back into the business. So, like for example, a laptop, or recently I made like a deal with my parents where I'll pay for the car and they'll pay off a new phone for me. So I have a new phone, which I'm very grateful for, but it's usually very minor things. And I don't think I'm making enough money to the point where I can buy too much fancy stuff.
Mhm.
And I don't really, I think the next thing that I'd probably get and probably save up for is probably a car, but I'm not too much. I'm not too much of. I do like to just reinvest right back into the business because I think business is so much fun and business is life. I remember Arno talking about that. There's no balance of work life. Work is life, life is work.
Correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think that's the. I mean, in all fairness, that's the right thing to do. I mean, if you because you're
sure.
15 years old, so there is potential. You're going to be a young genius, and having this kind of mindset, like you're reinvesting back into your business. Most people will just go out and buy new stuff and this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. You're thinking, okay, cool. Well, I don't really need anything. I don't really kind of want anything. I'm just going to
Yeah,
reinvest into business, which then therefore is going to propel you up later on down the line. You know what I mean? You're
that's right.
comfortable, safe. You've got a roof over your head. You're able to help your family. So that is absolutely awesome. What would you say was kind of like the hardest part about your journey so far, from starting till now?
That's a really good question. first thing that comes to mind is probably, I think I would say the dropping the video games bit, but I was pretty relieved when I dropped it. And when I did drop it, a lot of my friends, because there's friends for specific things, for the gym, talking. So for my friends with video games, a lot of them I dropped communication with, and I remember I ended up just going, there's a term for like just disappearing. It slipped my mind, but just I've just
Kind of
left
went
like
ghost.
Discord.
You kind of went
Pardon?
ghost. I know you went ghost on
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
You
yeah.
went. You just moved them to the side and just carried on doing what you're doing. So you went ghost on them, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right. So, like Discord, I went off, all the video games, and it, I think I was mostly relieved, and I was mostly grateful for the fact how I'm not really associated with them anymore, and I know that what I'm doing now is steps forward for what I want to do. So the hardest bit is probably putting another foot in front of the other to have the discipline, to have the strength to keep reaching out to people, to keep cold calling, to keep running ads, to keep, writing newsletters, to keep doing the client work, even though that you don't want to do it. So I'd say that's probably the hardest thing because then you just gotta, some days you don't feel like it, but damn, I have the client work to do. And if I do it now, then tomorrow me is going to be very grateful that today me
And
did it
today,
now.
exactly. Yeah, I like that. I like. You're saying
Yeah,
such
yeah.
the I really realize. So, what would you say was your kind of biggest turning point or biggest win? And that can be something personal to you, or it could be like something within business as well.
Mm. So I think I think a good personal one that really got me was when my dad was able to ask me for money and I didn't really need to think twice and I didn't need to look at my bank account and I just said, "Here you go."
It's a
So that
great
was a
feeling, right?
really,
It's a super
yeah,
great feeling.
yeah,
It's an amazing feeling. But go on,
yep,
carry on. Sorry, go on.
yeah, 100%. So that's a really good personal one that, you know, I am truly blessed for. In terms of business, I think it was probably the first local SEO client where there were an electrician company. And even though, because, with the offer, with what Arno talks about is having an offer to stand out. So, for example, the offer that we're kind of running is top 10 on Google within give or take 90 days. And if we don't, we'll keep working for free until you do. There was also the offer, or we'll fully refund you. With the electrician client is, or I'll fully refund you if I don't get you into the top 10. And I remember I did close them and I was very grateful for closing them, but I knew from past experience that you can't take that money out because of the offer. So if you don't get them into the top 10, although you have the money at your fingertips, if you take it and then you don't get them into the top 10, now you got to take $500 out of your own pocket. So I didn't take it out, which, very grateful for. I didn't end up getting them the results, but again, it was a good learning experience. I wouldn't call it a mistake. I think my dad usually talks about it. A mistake is a mistake when you don't learn from it. Otherwise it's a learning experience. You know, yeah.
I was going to
So
say exactly the same thing. Listen. I was going to say exactly the same. You never actually lose. You always actually learn,
that's right.
right?
That's right.
So I say this because obviously I'm a fitness professional. So I say this with any like new fighter or someone goes in the ring, this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. And I use the same terminology and I kind of progress that into life. Okay. You're going to win and you're going to lose in
Yep,
all walks, whether it be in the gym, whether it be in the ring or whether it be in life. Okay. But if you take that experience of that loss or that learning curve and say, okay, cool, I know what I did wrong there. So I'm gonna just tweak this, tweak that, and not do that again because that's what got me that L. So I'm gonna turn everything that L, I'm gonna turn it into a W. I'm gonna turn it into a win. And as long as
for
you
sure.
realize that, Yeah, me and your dad are on the same. As long as you realize that, that's absolutely fantastic because like you never actually lose, you always actually learn. So
That's
anything
100%.
you go through, there's gonna be some things where you know it doesn't necessarily go your way, but as long as you understand what you did and you don't make that same mistake again twice, then and you adjust, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. So I'm glad you said that.
100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
super. Literally, I'm gassed by you. You're actually just making my day. So you're
Thank you.
super gassed. So what does your business now look like? So what's your projection for the next 6 months, and what do you plan on how to get to that?
Yep.
How to get to the point in the next 6 months? Yeah. So we'll start off with that one.
Beautiful. So that's a really good question. I remember thinking about this yesterday. So I switched from running ads to Australia that were actually running really well to the US because the currency conversion, they're just more stable. I think it's like one US dollar is like, I think 1.7 Australian dollars. So I ended up switching it, and apparently they take more risks and all the rest. Since I've been running them, the the ads aren't running bad in terms of cost per lead. Let's say so. Let's say it's about $11 per US lead. In Australia, it was maybe 9 US per lead. I did notice that the US people, they're not more responsive when you call them and all the rest. So I remember I just kept getting voicemails, even if I did call them at the right time. With Australian people, they did seem to answer a whole lot more and they were a whole lot more interested. So since the kind of US ads weren't working, my plan for the next 6 months was to, in terms of ads, go towards more Australian people. From there, from since I have charged my prices, they have significantly increased. So, um, if from there be charging them, well, yeah, charging them that, and then the US people, my goal is to cold outreach them because then when if they answer and I get them on the phone, then they can be like, oh yeah, I'm interested. Send me the video, and then I get their email. Rather with the ad, then they may be like, may just end up forgetting it. So that is the plan for the next 6 months to just keep doing that. Um, Probably about maybe 100 cold calls a day is probably the goal to get to, you know?
Mhm.
And yeah, it's just that's that is the main goal right now the next 6 months. And then if I can get the first client for the consistency of getting people there, keeping them there, that yeah, that's probably the goal right now. Yeah.
So monetary wise, I know you're not really kind of like you don't really necessarily care about finances too much, but is there a sum that you wanted to achieve in that 6 months consistently from month to month?
Mm. So I think the probably goal right now is probably $1 more than what I'm consistently making every month right now. So it's like 225 US. So the goal would be 226. Long term goal is even if I make $1 than what I'm doing now in the next 6 months, that's still more progress than where I am right now. So if I can get 1% better every month, every day, that's where I want to be. In terms of more on the higher end numbers, I'd say I think in my wallet, because I remember one of Arno's first lessons is, I don't know why this works, but it works. Write down on a piece of paper what you want to make every month, put it in your wallet, walk around with it every day. So right now
Every
in my
single morning.
wallet, yeah,
Look at
yeah,
it
yeah,
every single morning. Open it up every single morning and look at it every single morning. It gives you a little bit of motivation. I get that.
that's right. And then I think right now I have about 1250 a month, which is the goal I want to get to. So, but even if I don't reach that goal within the next 6 months, which I do 100% think I can with where I'm going towards,
Mm.
if I can get just $1 more than what I'm getting now next month and then the next month, that's still progress. Although it's not a significant amount of progress, it's still knowing that I am facing the challenges I need to be able to take another step forward. So, of course, I'd like to get to $10,000 a month, but to be, realistic in that, even though being unrealistic is a good thing, I remember that from one of the Andrew Tate lessons. I think probably a good step forward would be at least $1,000 a month consistently within the next 6 months. If
Mhm.
not, maybe even, $2,000 every month.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. I like the way you're taking kind of like a smaller steps to achieve a bigger goal. I actually I really like that, admire that methodology because it's good thinking. It's really, really good thinking. So, on
Thank you.
that. So, how did you get your first clients? How did you get?
Mm.
I don't think I asked you this question. So, how did you get your first client?
So my first client, I met them in real life. So I used to do, I used to teach Brazilian Jiu Jitsu to younger kids, you know?
Nice.
And I remember one, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I remember one day I come out into the foyer and I see my dad and my mom and another one of the mums for the younger kids doing jiu-jitsu talking, right? And my dad, knowing my dad, he was being a salesman for me. So he was talking about because she owned a recovery and wellness center business. So like saunas, ice bath, steam room, all the rest. And my dad was talking about how I think he was talking about the real world at that time and how what I've been learning through that and how I can help local businesses, and she seemed decently interested. So she we ended up. It was a very brief talk. I knew her even beforehand, so she wasn't a stranger at that point. But it took a couple of you know. It was probably about 2 months of about following up, maybe 3 months of following up until we kind of actually pulled the pin on it and had to talk about it. So it was it wasn't cold outreach, but this one was more of real life, which shows that if you can make a connection with people, if you can build rapport with people and then kind of show your expertise, even I think even the way of being confident, being competent, and showing expertise in the way you talk, in showing that you don't really fumble over your words a lot, having your back straight, even if you don't talk about business, people can feel it. Because I remember I was at like a youth group for church, and I remember talking to somebody. He was about same as my age, and I I don't know how, but it came to the point of me saying I do jujitsu, and he goes, "Yeah, I can kind of feel the fact of how you do jujitsu." But I know that that's not more of jujitsu than me, more of being able to talk calmly, me not fumbling over my words, me having my back straight. Because there's just something that you don't know about. You can just feel something off of people when you just look at them, when you know how the way they speak and all the rest. So I think that's my main story, and it's probably one that I won't forget because there's a lot of learning experience in me getting my first client, which I am 100% very grateful for.
So then, what's your do you have a process? And has the real world helped you to formulate a process onto like what you're doing now to like your cold calls? So is there a process in how you do your cold calls, or is there do you research them before, or do you just kind of just generally just reach out? And obviously, because you're changing the market now, you're changing from US market to US market. Is there a strategy or a process that you're going to use?
So, in terms of like cold calls, there's I think I remember it's mostly there's a lot of things in the real world, especially in business mastery, that helps you with the cold calls. There's a lot of very intelligent people out there, like with creating scripts, sorry, with creating scripts and how to talk to people properly. Essentially, with the first thing of the cold call is you just want to see if they're interested, if they're looking for more clients, if they're looking for to get more business coming in. So from there, it's usually to I wouldn't say build rapport as much, but it's to because right now essentially the funnel is I cold call them and then it's a free video, a free audit on their business to show them how they can rank their business higher on Google. And that free video, the whole point of that free video is to show oh, I said the same thing twice. Competence, confidence, and expertise in knowing what you do. And then from there at the end of it, it's like if you're looking to take this off your plate, here's my pricing if you want to take it off your plate. So the first bit of it is free value and they can go away and they can do it themselves. But if they see enough expertise in me and they want it taken off their plate and they trust me enough, then from there, and they're looking to get the ball rolling, we can go from there. So the first kind of line of the cold call is to see if their pain point is something that they need solved that I can fix. And then from there, I'll do an order on their business to show that I know what I'm doing. And then usually there's a lot of following up in the middle, so maybe they didn't watch the video, so I got to follow up. And when they did watch the video, then you keep following up. But as a rough framework, it's usually that is kind of the funnel. In terms of kind of doing research beforehand, I think I haven't tested it enough to give you a definitive answer. It is a lot it is a lot like time because there is a minimal amount of people that would say, yes, I'm interested. And then when you because I remember like thinking about, okay, I'll see what they're doing right now and then give a couple of free things on the call instead of the video. A lot of people don't they say they don't have the time to be on a call and all the rest. Sometimes you catch people on like a long period. But essentially, the first call is to see if they're actually interested, and then the video is to show expertise, and then from there, if they want to get the ball rolling, and we can go from there. So that's kind of the process that I'm at right now.
I was going to say, because I always kind of give little bits of advice, and there's two elements or two systems that you can probably try. Um, Reducing the number of cold calls, like say you want to do 100 cold calls per day. Um, I mean, it's entirely up to you whether you want to try both. I'm not going to like tell you how to do your methods, but you can do 50 cold calls a day, but 50 cold calls where you've kind of already structured a plan for each and individual company,
Mm.
especially if they're locally based, or structure them. And if they're local to you, then you can go in and you can say, look, I've got a structure, or email them first of all. And I've got a structure for you. This is it. Bang, 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 bang. This is what you can do. This is what you can do.
Mm,
I mean, personally, I quite like that because it shows that you've been interested in them. It shows that you've taken time
mm,
to give them a little bit of your time. I know it's quite time consuming, but it gives you that little bit of a step rather than just
for sure.
going in there and just randomly just calling them and then doing that whole process. If you covered
Yep.
half of that process, first of all, think about how long it takes you to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. If you cut that down, compress that down,
Yep.
let's say 2 weeks. If you compress that down to a week where you've actually researched, you've spent the time researching into it, then you're making, you're kind of working a little bit smarter and trying to kind of target
100%.
target them. Like you know about me. Whoa, he knows about me. Oh, he's done his research. Okay, cool. Nah, okay, cool. My ears,
Yeah. Yeah.
instantly, my ears are perked up. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm all ears. Okay, cool. You've already done your research. Okay, cool. What you got for me? Come on, tell me. Do you know what I mean? So
100%.
that might, you can use two different methods. Do you know what I mean? You can maybe
100%.
try for 1 month your cold calls, and then try for 1 month, I think, and see which one works more effectively for you. And again, that could save you a little bit of time back and forth, and obviously get you a few more results that way.
For sure.
It's,
Thank
it's,
thank you, Nigel. I really
it's a,
appreciate it.
you know what it is? I'm only saying it from like the people that approach me. Okay,
Yeah,
so the people that
100%.
approach me about certain business, they've already looked into me. They already know what I'm about. So they've looked into
Yep.
me and give because I get messages in my DMs. Oh, I can do this for you. I can do that for you. I can do this for you. The people that like I've hired within myself have just said, "Okay, cool. Hi, Nigel. What do you think of this?" Bang, and then just give me it, and I'm like, "Okay, what else can you do?"
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? They've
Yeah,
gone
for
within an
sure.
hour. They've gone bang, and I'm like, okay, hired. It's just for me, that's just a simple process. Like you're interested, you're
For
invested in me.
sure.
You've actually taken the time out to actually look into me. So therefore,
Yep.
yeah, like that's me. Like, and from then on in,
100%.
people that I've hired have been absolutely every single time I see them, they blow me away with the stuff that they produce for me. So
Yep.
it just
For sure.
shows for me that they're invested in me and what I've done and my background and everything else and blah blah blah. And do you know what I mean? It just
Yep.
gives me that little bit of a warm feeling, you know.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
100%.
Okay, cool.
No,
I'm not
yeah.
going to give you much. I'm not going to give you much longer because I could talk to you for absolutely ages. But just last question. Tell me what. a day in the life of you as a TRW student looks like?
So essentially, every morning now I'm waking up about 3, 4 a.m. I take, so I go downstairs, get ready, kind of quick ready for the day, and then I come up and I usually start following up with leads, US
Yeah.
leads,
Hmm.
to see see if they actually answer the phone, keep them updated on that. From there, I'll probably get to work, really depending on what needs to be done, because my parents are starting a business right now, so I'm helping them create a website. So if the website needs to be created, if there's a framework, because right now we're creating the funnel for that.
Hmm.
So recently I created the framework for the free video. So from there, it'll probably be maybe 6 or 7 in the morning if I get necessary things done. Go into the real world, you know, GM, go inside, say GM, check
Hmm.
in, see how things are going, listen to a lesson if needed, watch, because in the business mastery campus, there's just like daily Tate lessons and all the rest. So from there, my goal right now is to train at least once a day, for jujitsu. So we'll probably around midday, I do around the 12 p.m. class,
Hmm.
go train, and there's actually a lot of people to build rapport with in terms of business, a lot of business owners, because jiu-jitsu it can be a decently expensive thing, especially because in Australia, the fuel prices are like $3 a liter. It's crazy right now,
Yeah, they're going crazy.
so
They're going crazy.
yeah,
What's going on?
it's
Yeah.
phenomenal. Yeah. So I talk, build rapport there with people, and then come home from there, have lunch, keep working on things that I need to do. Like, you know, I don't do cold calls in Australia now because I was shifting to the US market. But essentially, it's like on Sundays, I create content. My goal is to create content. So content for the entire week. So I don't need to worry about it for the entire week because I've got, jujitsu and all the rest. Like things can just be chucked into your day on Monday through Friday. On Sunday, my goal is to create just the content so I don't need to worry about it. So 7 reels, couple newsletters, a long form video to publish to my accounts to create content. And then from there, I usually have dinner early because we have semi-late dinners, but my goal is to have dinner at around 6, so I can get to bed at 7:30, and then from there the day just repeats. Eat, work, sleep, repeat.
Fully structured. I like that. I super like that. I super like that. I got one more question. Sorry. So
Of course,
you
you're all
said
good.
that you said that you lost a lot of friends, but have you gained any more with the same kind of mindset with you because you're in a TRW, or have you told your friends about you being in the TRW, and have they noticed a difference in you?
Oh, that's a really good question. I I can notice when people are people that I do want to hang around, even if they're not in the real world and the same entrepreneur mindset. But I haven't gained friends that are like me, and I'd say it's very rare if I do. And if I do, I'm going to be very grateful. But at my age, with what I'm doing, I can't go out and expect it. Like I remember, I used to just go out and expect it. Well, but I want it, and I was chasing it, but I knew that there wasn't. It would be hard and tough if I did. So I think now it's more of understanding right off the bat when you talk to somebody if I actually want to hang around with this person or if I don't. Because now I've been able to make that definition because they can like goes the other way around as well when they know how I talk with the way I hold myself, and then I can see with the way they talk and the way they hold themselves, like, okay, do I actually want to exchange numbers with these people? Do I actually want to talk to them? Will this person be of benefit to me? I know this is something that Andrew Tate talks about like a lot, is all
This
these all these friends, like everybody that you have around you, they're all tools, and not, he doesn't say that as a bad way. He's like, if we're friends, I'm giving you something in exchange and you're going to give me something in exchange. So
and
that's
what
so
works.
being able to understand that right off the bat, like, oh, are we going to be, is this partnership, is this friendship going to be something beneficial both ways, or just your way, or just my way?
Yeah, that's amazing,
100%.
bro. You like, I love your mindset. Keep that mindset. Keep working.
Thank you.
Obviously, listen to dad because that's right. You know what I mean? That's 100% right. High five to dad. That's 100% right. Keep that mindset. Keep that work ethic. I can see like the way that you're so young, but you articulate yourself very, very well.
Thank you.
And I can see that only getting better. Um, and I can only see you going super far. Like I say, you're super young. Do you know what I mean? The time's now you've joined. Do you know what I mean? So you're going to just push forward, and I know you're going to do crazy things, absolute crazy things at such a young age. By the time you reach like 19, 20, you're just going to have an empire. And I know you are. I can feel it.
Thank you.
Dad's gonna be proud of you. Mom's going to be proud of you. The whole family's going to be proud of you. They must be proud of you already. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
The way that
thank
you
you.
are, because I've not really come across many 15-year-olds that can articulate and speak like yourself um, at this precise moment in time. So, yeah, just I'm super. I can't say I'm super proud of you because you look myself, but I'm super proud of you. Do you know what I mean? Like
Thank you,
at
Nigel. I
such a young age,
appreciate it.
and what you're doing is super amazing. So I won't keep you much longer. I could talk to you for. I've almost talked to you for an hour now, but I could talk to you for a lot longer.
Thank you.
But I'm gonna let you go now because I know it's early in the morning, so you can shoot off now. But it was absolutely awesome speaking to you, and I wish you all the best. That's coming from
Thank
my
you,
heart.
Nigel. Thank
Um,
you.
and
Appreciate it.
yeah, keep doing you. Keep listening to that. Keep doing you, and yeah, you're just gonna you're gonna fly. You're gonna fly like a bird.
Thank you,
God's
Nigel. I
giving
really
you
appreciate
wings.
it.
So, yeah, you take care. Thank you very much for coming on as well. I know it's late in the morning, so I super appreciate that as well. So yeah, and yeah, hopefully speak to you soon, sir.
Sounds good. Likewise, Nigel. I really
Mm.
appreciate the opportunity, and I hope you have an awesome day as well. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir. Take care.